Hello, 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 and welcome to another segment of Live with yours truly, Dr. Stem. How are you? We're already in the middle of November. How is it going for you? Well, as many of you know, the month started off really, really well for us, the Women of the Empowerment Academy. As many of you know, or if you don't know, we are so excited to announce that our first anthology, which is a book that myself, together with 19 other phenomenal authors from around the world, we have Australia, the United Kingdom, some from Zimbabwe, South Africa, and right here in the United States, all 19 of us got together, and each one of us submitted a chapter that was compiled to put together our first anthology of the Bounce Back book series, which is Bounce Back: From Setbacks to Comebacks. I tell you, I'm going to be doing some interviews with some of the authors that you'll be seeing within the next coming weeks. But I tell you, if you haven't gotten the book, please grab the book, because these women, together with myself, we all poured our hearts out, really, to share some stories on how we were able to bounce back from setbacks to comebacks. And we know that those stories will encourage one or more of many of you, men and women. You see, we put this together as a women's anthology. And to my surprise, the book became a best-selling author on the 1st of November, which is the day that we published it. And guess what? I got more messages from men that have bought the book than women. So you can tell that all the stories are really very touching, but they're human stories. They're not women's stories. They're human stories on the reality of what we go through when we have setbacks, and the reality of what we do in order to come back. And many of those stories will uplift you, inspire you, encourage you, and most of all, I hope that it empowers you, because that was our hope when we put that book together, Bounce Back: From Setbacks to Comebacks. So it's a great gift as well to give this, coming Christmas, holidays, New Year's, birthdays. If you have birthdays that are coming up for November, December, great, great, great gift that you can give out. So today I wanted real quick to talk about fear, because one of the things that, I notice, well, I've written over 45 books myself. So, fear of writing is nothing that, I deal with at all. My mind is constantly coming up with ideas, with information that I just want to write out and share with the world. So, I have had many, many years of dealing with the fear of writing. Let me start with that one, because then that's a fear that many people are still struggling with. I don't know what to write. I don't know where to start. So one of the things that we do, when you become an author with Bounce Back book series, is we help you. You put together your notes, your ideas on paper, and then we can take it and put it together for you in your best-selling chapter that you'll be writing. But fear is really a complex, emotion that is very multifaceted. That means that it comes in all different kinds and ways and creeps up, on you. So what happens is, right now, as we are going through the end of the year, many people are looking at their goals, their, ideas that they had for this 2023. It's always exciting when you start the year, right? Because you have all these things that you want to do at the beginning of the year, and you're so excited about putting them together and making sure that by the year end, I'm going to. And then comes November, and you look at it and you go, whoa, what happened? Well, I'll tell you about myself. I have one thing that really bothers me that I put on my list, and I've done many things this year, a lot of things, and I've checked off a lot of things. I'm a checklist girl. I like to put checklists. Even on a day-to-day basis, I want to encourage you, put a daily checklist of what you want, to do on a day-to-day basis, month to month, year to year. So on my year list, when I was reviewing this week, I realized that one of the things that I wanted to do was to do more videos that I can post on my YouTube channels. Videos, teaching videos, talk videos, where I just talk about life, about the different things that many of the things I have discussed in many of those books, right? And then I thought, you know what? It'll be a great idea to even read a chapter, from the book, where I have the book literally and I'm reading the chapter and discussing some of the things that I put in chapters, right? And then have those discussions with people that will be watching live and stuff, because that's exciting stuff for me. You think I did that? No, not one of those. So, and I thought, what was it that could have, probably stopped me? Because I could have made the time. And I noticed that fear of success is a real fear. We come up with all these ideas and things that we want to do. And then right at the last minute, you find yourself not doing the very things that will bring you the success or leap you into the next level of success that you need. I've struggled with that. And it is one of those things that has motivated me and inspired me to continuously write. So as I write my books, I'm actually publicly journaling my struggles. And as I struggle with, building my business and boosting my business and putting together my ideas, I realized years ago that I became clearer and clearer on what it is that I want to do in my business. I became clearer of the struggles that women go through. And now I realize that humans go through, and not just women go through, when we want to put out, an idea that we have in place, especially now in the day of, online business. We all have a business idea, and it is that one string that could prevent one from implementing that idea. And that one thing could be fear. As I said at the beginning, there are multifaceted, fears that one can experience. I'm also a mental health professional, so one of the fears that I don't want to undermine or underestimate is anxiety. People really do struggle with anxiety, and anxiety can only be diagnosed, in a setting where you have to meet with a mental health professional, not literally in person, but you can speak to a mental health professional. And we have a very thorough assessment that we do in order for us to diagnose you with anxiety. So that's one fear that is real, that sometimes if it's that excessive of a fear, that has to be ruled out, because then there are certain treatments that one has to receive in order to deal with that fear. But it's real, and it will hold you back from implementing anything. Maybe you can even start putting together something, and then that anxiety, strikes in, and you're anxious, and you just don't want to be going through with that project anymore, or you procrastinate and you self-sabotage. Fear in itself is one of the biggest, biggest causes, if I may say it in that way, causes of self-sabotage, people procrastinating, and people not doing what it is that they want to do. So it's real, but it does need to be diagnosed and, going through the treatments in a professional way, if that's one of the fears that you get. And then we have, a fear of success, as I said. There's also a fear of failure, which is real, right? There's also a fear that is trauma related for those people that have gone through trauma. Or experienced trauma. There is a fear that is exacerbated when one has experienced trauma. Again, that one is, falls under what we call a clinical fear, where it has to be, again, assessed, and then you get, the guidance of a mental health professional on how that can be treated. But then, there are many fears that are caused by different situations in life or in our upbringing, and those differ from person to person on how one can experience fear just based on their upbringing or their environments, because environments can, cause us fear. And what I mean by environments, many a time, right? One of the things that I did earlier on in my profession, when I was starting on my businesses and everything, right? I used to compare myself a lot to the other ladies that I saw that were either in similar businesses like me or were doing like me. And then I could see that, I was nothing compared to many of them. My experience, my expertise, when I look at them, I'm just like, ooh, okay, they're way ahead of me. And I don't know if I could ever done that. So what do? I get afraid and I pull back. What I've realized is when you understand your own personal fears, and you also understand your own personal strengths and your own personal passions and your own, personal, influence that you have, right? Totally different. There's nobody else that has a stamp of what you can bring to the table. You can't, everybody is unique and they're individuals. And even if you were in the same business as I am, where you're working with, people in a mental health environment, you're also working with people in a business life coaching environment, or even doing, workshops, the way that I do the workshops and everything. We are all different, and you need each and every one, of us to present to you, to work with you, and, with our own different capacities in order for you to find your own imprint, right? That's why, too, you see us pursuing trainings after trainings and learning from this one, because we get a little bit from each person until we get to understand and know our own, value and our own pace and who we are and what we bring to the table. That's the journey that we have to take. And without taking that, I remember when I first started taking, courses, I'm a certified John Maxwell trainer, and, I worked with Louise Hayes. I have, also worked with the late Dr. Oh my God, what's her name? Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. I'm a certified trainer. Oh my God, I forgot her name, but I'll research it, and somebody maybe might help me out in here, because that was years ago. And I remember when we were doing that, and I was being trained, I was asking myself, when does this end? And, how do I get to put a stop of it and continue to do my own work, right? Little did I know that by me pursuing those and doing those kind of trainings and everything, it was helping me to deal with that inner fear that was within me. It was also helping me to bring out who I am, and also to believe in myself, to love who I am, and to understand that my imprint is totally different from anybody else's imprint. So this week, what I want to do is, if you go on my website, www.drstemi.com, I have put in there a free ebook that you can get, Fear Be Gone. And in Fear Be Gone, you will read the little book and associate your own fears and see where you're afraid, how the fear is showing up in your life, and maybe where it came from, right? Because let me tell you, at the end of the year, we are all looking at what's the one thing that I can do to end this year with a bang. What's the one thing that I can cross out of my list? And there will be one or more things that you can cross out from your list if you get to get hold of that fear that is holding you back from just going back and just saying, you know what, I'm just going to do it. If you're a person like myself who's got the businesses online already, maybe one of those things is to finally release those online courses that you've been creating. Maybe it's to finally create that one course that you've wanted to create and said, you know what, I know I'm good at this. And I've had people giving me feedback that I am good at this. Put it together and just share and publish it. And you will see people that have been waiting for you to put it together. Whilst you were afraid, there are people that are looking for exactly what it is that you have to offer. So I don't know who I'm talking to, but I want to encourage you to download that free ebook and also share with other people that might be needing it, to say, you know what, I want this fear to not hold me back. I want this fear to not be, something that hold me back, because we're going to be afraid no matter what. Even if you say you've mastered fear, fear will always be present. But the key, again, is to master it and be able to take care of yourself, to acknowledge and know when fear is the factor in you not doing the things that you want to do in order for you to cross out those goals that you have for the year. All right. So with that, if you have any questions from me, my information is in that little book, but then I'm going to put the link right here with this video. And if you just visit my website, you will also be able to just see it right there on the website. Until next time, have a great, productive week. It is time again for Bounce Back Empowerment Conference. Remember, this year we're at number 4. So join us. We're going to be right here in Orlando, Florida, live on December 9th, Bounce Back Empowerment Conference. I'm so excited for all the speakers that are coming and everybody that is coming to the Bounce Back, because this is the first time that we're going to be meeting in person for the first time. For that one, you have to go to the official website for Bounce Back. It is bouncebackconference.com. So that's www.bouncebackconference.com. Until next time, this is Dr. Stem. Be encouraged.